Hey guys, Xaryu here, and today I wanted to talk about a question that I have been getting a lot, and that is, when do I play Glacial Spike, or when should I play Glacial Spike? And the answer is kind of changed up recently. Glacial Spike got a lot of buffs, a lot of nerfs, a lot of changes recently. Bottom line is icicles don't matter as much. It does a lot more damage consistently, but they won't be super high or super low anymore. It's more of a consistency thing. And so what I like to tell people as far as when to play Glacial Spike is don't play it when you're playing like a setup comp where it's very scripted and you kind of know when you're getting a kill. And I'll go into examples in a minute. And you can kind of play it when you're playing with like a Destro, or maybe in a comp where you can kind of sit back, relax, and really go for, you know, big one-shots in combined with Destro one-shots as well. So I'll go into like more specific examples as the video goes on. But here I wanted to just show you this clip on why it's really good when you're playing with the Destro Warlock. We get a sheep here on the Shaman, and we get a Chastise from the Priest. This Shaman is in so much trouble with the Destro Warlock. I locked out the Boomkin so he can't, Cyclone. I think I locked him in that Cyclone. I'm fisted by the Monk, but look at this. I have Icy Veins available, with the Glacial Spike available, with an Ice Nova available, and you can just do so much damage. Glacial Spike, one shot. Let's rewind that. Glacial Spike, one shot. Ooh, I can watch that all day. Thugonomics, and I just destroyed that guy. Curse of Fragility, I think that was a Dark Soul bolt there with an Icy Veins Glacial Spike, completely obliterating that guy. So a lot of you might be kind of asking the question right now, why would you not play Glacial Spike? Why would you not always just go for the big one-shot? And the reason being is setup comps, guys. Setup comps. Let me show you another clip where we set up with a kill and it's where it's really not needed. Okay guys, so in this game I'm playing a very setup based comp, and Glacial Spike just isn't needed. Based on the nature of the comp, what we're going to try to do is try to get some type of triple CC, hit the non-Earth Shield target, and do big goes. And with this I'm going to try to have 5 Icicles ready every time we go. Comet Storm into Ice Nova with Orb, and maybe a counterspell on the off target. So here we go. I have a counterspell on the Mage trying to polymorph and peel us. I have an Orb, a Comet Storm into an Ice Nova coming out here pretty soon. I get silenced by the Priest. I just go ahead and shrink at that. We get the wall out from the Shaman. Not too much more, so not the greatest opener in the world. We do get minor cooldowns, I guess, but could have been better, could have been cleaner. Overall, though, there's no way if I would have been casting a Glacial, if that guy, would have gone down more in life. The Mage could have Trinket Locked me. Having to cast in that situation is just so bad. Say that the Priest does silence me halfway through the Glacial and 90% through the Glacial, instead of doing a ton of damage and then just trinketing the silence and continuing to do damage, I'm casting, get silenced, and then stop. So casting Glacial in these setups is just too short of a setup. Right here, paralyze the Shaman, getting ready for that next setup. I sheep the Priest, and we do another go. I lock the Poly, once again, triple CC, sheep Priest, stun Shaman, lock Mage. They can't move. I have the Comet Storm, the Ice Nova once again, and that's pretty much enough damage to force the swap. Once again, guys, didn't need the Glacial, and even if I had the Glacial, it's pretty risky as far as being able to actually get that damage before I get stopped, before I get line of sighted. Not having that instant cast damage is just so bad for a setup-based comp. That's comps like Windwalker Mage, that's comps like Rogue Mage. I think that's pretty much it. Even a comp like maybe Warrior Mage would be better with Spike. It kind of just depends on how you're playing it. If you're playing it very setup-based, I would recommend playing with a, without Glacial. If you're playing very setup based, I would play with Comet Storm. Reason being, if you have these setups and you know exactly how your kill is going to go, then you don't need the, the casted, non-sure damage of Glacial Spike. If you have to cast it to get off, it can get stopped. And if it's getting stopped and it's risky and it has variance, there's just no reason to do it. Once again here, guys, paralyze on the Shaman, counterspell on... Don't counterspell the sheep. Oh, I counterspelled before we went, so very bad of me. Should not have counterspelled before we went. counterspelling the sheep on our go would have been much better, because look at this, I'm just getting polymorphed. We get the orb down before these polymorphs though, and we get the trinket out of the shaman, so that's another cooldown. Very bad of me though. I want you guys to learn from my mistake. When you're playing Windwalker Mage, save your counterspell for your goes and lock the polymorph when you go, like I did in the other goes. Not good to kind of use it during your running phase. You always want to use it while you're doing your big goes. Just something to learn from. But overall, in a comp like this, guys, in a setup-based comp, in a comp where you're killing when you know you're already killing, very good to play Comet Storm, Rogue Mage, Windwalker Mage, stuff like that. When you're playing with a Destro Warlock, when you're kind of sitting back, when you can kind of take your time. I've actually been experimenting in RBGs. I was playing a lot of Comet Storm in RBGs, but recently I've been playing Glacial in RBGs, and it doesn't seem bad either. When you're playing in a situation where you can take time to set your kill up, it's very good to play Glacial. Because, you know, it's not in a specific little window. Right here, we're in our window. We paralyze the Shaman into a Hajj, silence the Mage, and this time we go Priest. We get Priest Trinket, we get Priest Dispersion. The reason we went Priest here, guys, keep in mind, is because the Shaman had Earth Shield. If the Priest had Earth Shield, we would have went Shaman. If Shaman has Earth Shield, we go Priest. Now for this next swap, it's the same exact thing. We can go Priest or Shaman. They both have no Trinket, no Swap, no Disperse, but we'll go Priest or Shaman depending on who has the Earth Shield. I have Icy Veins for this next setup, as long as we get that triple CC, the Sheep on the Priest, maybe the Lock on the Mage, some type of burst into the Shaman with the stuns, or vice versa, with the Paralyze on the Shaman into the Hajj, silence on the Mage, and go on the Priest, depending on, you know, who has that Earth Shield. But if you guys kind of get my point here, there's no way in hell we are going to get off a Glacial Spike consistently in these setups. There's just not enough time. Look at this. The Paralyze goes off, and I Sheep the Priest. I blink over and counterspell the Mage. By this time, there's 2.4 seconds left by the time all of this happens. If I were to cast a Glacial Spike right now, I would barely get one off by the end of the stun, which I would much rather Icy Veins and Orb and get my Flurry off, because that's just more damage. Icy Veins, Orb, get the Flurry off with the Comet Storm, Ice Nova, boom. Shaman's 100 to Ode. I didn't need to cast. There is a 0% chance that damage is getting stopped, and it was more than enough damage to kill the Shaman. So the question is, why would you ever play Glacial Spike when you don't need it to kill? So in the first clip, you might be like, why would you never not play it? It's just one-shots, it hit for 1.5 million, it's OP. But in this clip, we can 100 to O someone without casting, so it's like, if you don't need it, then why play it? And that's kind of my point I want to get at, guys. Setup comps, when you know you're going to get the kill. You know you're going to get the kill if the setup goes perfectly. Comet Storm. That's Rogue Mage, that's Windwalker Mage. That's anything where you're setting up your kills with triple CC, and you're just, boom, set up your kills, okay? Glacial Spike, in a more patient matchup, maybe with against caster comps and mirrors, against wizard cleaves, where you're kind of sitting back, you get, you know, have a lot of patience, and you're just kind of wizarding people down. Glacial Spike is great. When you're playing with a Destro Warlock, when you're in RBGs, I've been testing a lot with Glacial Spike, because you can just sit back, relax, build up that big spike, go for one-shots. Not bad all around, guys. Hopefully this video helped kind of decide when to pick Comet Storm and when to pick Glacial Spike as a Frost Mage. I'm still experimenting with both, but that's pretty much what goes through my mind when I'm deciding which one to take. Guys, if this video is helpful, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If it wasn't, thumbs it down. Talk to me in the comments about you know, what you think about this, when you guys like to run Glacial or Comet, or if this video is like, oh, finally, now I know which one to choose. And as always, guys, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace!